Hey, what's up guys, it's Gorilla Hands, and before I get into what I want to talk about, I've got a little bit of a rant that I need to get through. Dashboarders, man, they frustrate me. I don't understand the need to want to back out of the game through dashboarding. I guess the only thing I can come up with is people just want to preserve their stats. They want to keep their precious kill-to-death ratio, even though I don't know why. It's not like you're going to get hired from like Merrill Lynch or when you're going in for your MCATs or you're trying to get into med school. They're not going to ask you what your KD ratio was in Call of Duty. But for those of you who may not know what dashboarding is in Call of Duty, from the off chance you might not know what it is, when you're playing a game live or in the middle of a session, instead of backing out normally, you hit the dashboard button and just get completely backed out of the game completely. Or on PlayStation, you go to the XMB dashboard. It's a way to preserve your kill-to-death ratio. None of your stats are updated, so you could be going 0 and 50, and it wouldn't affect your KD at all. I think you still get accredited a loss, but people don't care about win-loss. They care about their kill-death. Only reason that it bothers me is because if you're host and you dashboard, there's no host migration. There's no way to find a new host in that time frame because you back out too quickly versus normally leaving a game. And it always seems like the dude on the other team who's getting his butt handed to him backs out and ruins a perfectly good game. And I can understand wanting to back out of a game. It's a video game, you bought it to have fun, you want to jump on there, and you don't want to be, maybe you're playing solo, you don't want to be sitting in the back of a spawn trap getting killed over and over again. It's not fun. I understand wanting to leave the game, but just back out. Just leave the game normally. I don't know why people have to dashboard it. It sucks. And the reason I'm bringing that up is this little 3-game session you're seeing right here. That's the reason the video is so long. This is all in a row, back to back to back, me playing. And this right here, I love this scenario. I think we're down like 14 tickets. I just got the Harrier. Have a chance to come back? No, sorry, Gorilla. Another time. It's going to have to happen another time, buddy, because the host dashboarded. At least I think he did. That's what I think happened. I could just have really shoddy internet. I've been told I have one of the worst hosts ever. I don't have a problem when I'm host, but anytime somebody is running off my host, they're staggering around the screen, and it's not a fun experience for them. So maybe I just have really crappy internet, and that's why I got kicked out. But yeah, no, that's my little rant. Hate dashboarders, but all these games are back to back to back. Like, I didn't edit them together. This was just one recorded session. But yeah, no, enough of the rant. It's Tuesday, so they just released Dead Island, and I was kind of on the fence about this game, only because it was originally supposed to be released back in 2008, 2009, I think, and then just went into complete and utter hiatus. There was no information released about this game, nothing. It was off everybody's radar until a couple months ago when they released that kind of cinematic memento-style trailer, and it got a lot more buzz again. And originally, back in 2008, when they were marketing it, one of its key features was the zombies were layered. And what I mean by that is if you hit a zombie in the face, his skin would start to peel off, and then you'd see muscle tissue. You hit that, it would peel off, you'd see skull, and you keep hitting it, you'd see brain. And this was any part of the body. If you hit them in the stomach or the chest, you'd start to see rib cage, muscle, all these different ways of breaking it down. It was supposed to make it, I guess, more realistic, more gruesome, and more visceral. And then when it resurfaced back a couple months ago, apparently that feature was scrapped, and they didn't have a whole lot of details about the game in terms of the gameplay. In fact, they didn't show gameplay until not like just recently they started showing off gameplay. So I was a little worried because typically when a development studio like that shows off a game and then just completely disappears and tries to resurface with a project years down the road, normally not a successful venue. But the reviews are in, and they're actually pretty positive. I think Metacritic average, the last time I checked, it was around an 8.5. The biggest issues that people had with the game, and I have no idea how I died right here. I didn't realize that the pirate gun had this kind of range. But the biggest complaint that people had with the game is it just doesn't feel fully polished. Some of the textures take a little while to load in. I think the storyline isn't all that amazing, but it's a zombie game. I don't expect anything from the storyline. And those were kind of the bigger issues, but the core gameplay, I've told, is pretty fun. It's kind of like a mashup between Fallout 3 and Borderlands. And what else? A lot of melee combat, but it looks like fun. It's got 4-player combat. I'll probably end up renting it, or at least picking it up or renting it, just giving it a try. And if any of you guys pick it up, let me know. Maybe we can try the co-op together. So yeah, looking forward to that game. And also the Modern Warfare 3 COD XP event just closed up. Had a chance to see a lot of information in regards to Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer. It seems like a whole lot of resources allocated to just show off one video game. But as a game that's as successful and as profitable as Call of Duty, I can see why they do this. And it's kind of cool that they did this because with Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops, they didn't give out that much information. They put out teaser trailers with multiplayer, and you really didn't know what to expect going into those two games. But here, you get a lot clearer picture. Obviously, not many people played the game, and even if you did play the game, it was for a very short period of time, so it's hard to get a true assessment of it, but we're getting a lot more information than we ever have in the past, and it's giving the community a chance to kind of weigh in and say what they think. One of the biggest complaints that I've heard so far is that this is Modern Warfare 2.5, or this is Modern Warfare 3 with free DLC maps. I see that all over the place. And I kind of knew that the game was going to look like that coming out. I mean, it makes sense. You have to take into consideration the development behind this, because normally they have 2 years to develop. Each studio or development team has 2 years to make their game. But after Modern Warfare 2 was launched, a couple months after it was released, there was the whole fallout between Infinity Ward and Activision. Now, I doubt they were doing a whole lot of development during that time. I mean, you've got the head of the studio and a lot of its key members all fighting with Activision. I doubt the productivity was very high during that time period. So yeah, no, I doubt they were developing, and even when the dust on that whole thing settled, Activision still had to find a new development team. They had to bring them in. These guys had to learn how the engine worked, get up to speed on that engine, started working with the remainders of, or the remnants of Infinity Ward's team, and then start developing. So they don't have a full 2-year development cycle as abridged. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that they didn't have like this fully fleshed out new looking game. You just have to take what's expected. And people really didn't complain about Modern Warfare 2's graphics. And everybody says the core gameplay is fun if they just changed a lot of the extra features. So I mean, its core engine isn't really a big problem. I don't mind that they're recycling it, especially if you look at the circumstances. The only things that kind of give me a little pause for concern is with such a shortened cycle, how much time do they have to really test this game? Because they might not have changed the core engine, but they added a lot of gameplay mechanics. I think, what is it, the Assault and Support class both have 18 point streaks each, or whatever the stripe packages are. Then you take into effect the Specialist can get all perks if he hits 8 kills. There's weapon proficiencies, new attachments, new guns. Who is testing all of these different combinations together to figure out if the game is balanced? That's my biggest concern over all things. I mean, the game can look the same, but how does it actually play? I mean, I've already heard people complaining that if you have an SMG with steady aim, grip, what's the other thing? The weapon proficiency range, you can hit fire people from extremely long distances away. That's not really something that sounds all that great. And maybe I missed it, but you know, in Modern Warfare 2, the counter to something like the AC-130 is Cold-Blooded Pro. You stay off the heat signature and you can shoot it down. But what's the counter to something like Juggernaut? Now, I saw footage of it. They don't seem very overpowered. You have a riot shield, so you're not running around with like an M240 killing everybody. So yeah, it doesn't seem like it's overpowered, but I don't know of any counter to the Juggernaut at all, the Juggernaut riot shield thing. So I guess I'm a little concerned with the overall how the gameplay mechanics go, but I haven't played it. Later this week, I'm going to try to get a couple of guys that were at the event. I'm either going to talk to them offline and relay what they had to say, or try to get them on in a video and discuss what happened, what their general thoughts were, because they actually had a chance to play the game. What else came out of the multiplayer event? Quickscoping is back with a vengeance, and it doesn't really bother me. I don't quickscope at all, but I know people enjoy doing it. I think I think Modern Warfare 2 is really easy to quickscope compared to something like Call of Duty 4, but I didn't think it was overpowered. I didn't think it was a huge issue, and a lot of people liked it. A lot of people are glad to see it back. It looks like it plays the same as Modern Warfare 2, and if that's the case, I don't have a problem. If it's easier than Modern Warfare 2, there might be a little bit of an issue. And I think one of the staples, or one of the things that make Call of Duty so fun, is there's such a wide variety of playstyles that can be incorporated in one game. If you want to quickscope, you can do that. If you want to snipe long range, you can do that. If you want to be a run and gunner, you get marathon lightweight and an SMG and just run around and hip fire people. If you want to be kind of a ghost class, you pick up gold-blooded and a silencer and work the perimeters. So everybody can pick a playstyle, and whatever works best for them, they can use it in that game. So I like the fact that there's a lot of different variety that people can utilize whenever they play the series. So yeah, quickscoping doesn't really bother me. I like the idea of point streaks, but we'll have to see how well they work. I even like the new game mode, Kill Confirmed. I think it's a it's a ripoff of Halo's Headhunter, but it's still a cool idea. It gets people moving around. I mean, you can get as many kills as you want, but if you don't pick up the dog tags, then you're not going to win the game. So, like the ideas they're putting into it, but like I said before, I'm a little concerned with how much testing is going on outside of it. The As it stands right now, I don't have this game pre-ordered, and I don't plan on pre-ordering it. I don't even plan on picking it up day of. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and see what other people's opinions are. Not because there's anything that I saw from the event that discouraged me a whole lot. It's just I've been playing this game since COD 2. The core engine's the same. I'm just kind of burnt out on it. And with all the other big name titles coming out, I'm just a lot more interested in those games. I really want to wait and see what other people have to say first before I pick it up. And if everyone's saying it's an awesome game, it's a lot of fun, I'll pick it up. I don't have any like resentment against the series, but I don't think I'm going to get it day of and have the multiplayer bite me in the ass. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you thought of the event. And like always, take it easy.